Here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in this world, dimension, universe, galaxy. Welcome to my quiet, lovely, beautiful, peaceful, affordable, comfortable golfing, currently cloudy, we're going to get some rain, retirement community, affectionately known as Frank. Where did you go? I think I lost Frank. What's it known as, Frank? Come on.
Del Boca Vista.
Thank you. You nailed it. A little late, but you nailed it. Oh, look at that hedge. Nice and straight. Let's do some weather. 78 degrees Fahrenheit, 26 degrees Celsius. Humidity 78%, wind 18 kilometers per hour. That would be 11 miles per hour. Beautiful day. There were some golfers out yesterday, or this morning, I should say. So thank you for joining me Saturday afternoon, Friday afternoon, early afternoon in Central Florida. Here I am doing another show. I was on last night. Thank you for checking in on it if you attended or viewed it. I knocked the hedge out on Thursday and I celebrated. So I was taking a little brandy, and I like to thank Mortimer for coming on. He was a guest. So something to do. And this morning, it rained last night, and I got another day of yard work just kind of to walk around and do some odds and ends. But if it's going to rain, since it rained last night, it's going to be wet out there, and I got up a little late. Didn't even push the water. since it wasn't raining, I went up to Wawa, got a 16-ounce Colombian coffee, brought that home. Just finished a big lunch. I had chicken enchiladas with rice. So that's my main meal of the day. I don't have to eat again. At some point, I got to push the water today. So it was an interesting topic last night. I got some UAP stuff, but I also going to do some. There was Patrick and Mortimer, and they both had cataract surgery, and they're talking about trivalent lenses. So I'm going to have to read up on that. I got a thing here I got off the Gork, is it, or whatever it is, Grok on X. It's an aggregator. Well, it's AI. It's an aggregator. It's consensus. And as I say in the comments here, I say, listen, I'm not interested in AI. I'm interested in II, infinite intelligence, the God of my being. Oh, I got to tell you, I got to show you something. I got to talk about something. Hang on. So I subscribe to Medium. It's they write some articles in there, and I guess I got to sign in. So they'll send me. I subscribe because they have an article on Paul Pluta. Okay, so I had to look at it, and that's where it talked to him when he left his first wife and family and went to Thailand. So I wanted to read it. So they came out with an interesting thing on the Bible. And it's just not worth reading. So if you search within Medium, it's medium.com. Here are the results for Bible. The Bible story we should stop teaching children. Okay. The Bible verse that broke my faith in American Christianity. Well, where's your faith in God? Forget about American Christianity. And this is it worth reading? Again, the title, the Bible verse that broke my faith in American Christianity. Here's another one. The Bible story that makes me mad every time I read it. Well, stop reading it. I'll hand my kids a comic book before a Bible. Oh, man. 10 awkward Bible stories no one talks about. What archaeology reveals the Bible tried to hide? Have we misunderstood Bible inspiration? How about just saying, have you misunderstood the Bible? Anyway, I can't, it's not even worth going into. Oh, for people. AD Never Calling. Here he is. Good morning. I got the Panoptics lens. Yeah, I saw that. I downloaded the whole thing. I'm sure I'm going to discuss it with the doctor. Incredible vision. I see better now than any time in my life. I'm going to read up on it, but I'm not a fan of bifocals or trifocals. I would never get that in my glasses. I don't need 3 different focal points for my brain to sort through. I'm not as quick as you and Mookie, okay? It's going to throw me off. And I don't mind reading glasses in far distance. The best, let's see, AD Never Calling. My brother got the JJ Odyssey, not doing as well. Well, I'm going to discuss it with my doctor. The best vision I ever had was when I had LASIK surgery done. And I went into the Top Guy, and at that time it was like $2,000. You couldn't go, I wouldn't go get it for $300. I want the top guy to do it. Oh, let me say you're welcome to Tommy, because what did I give Tommy? I'll show you what I gave Tommy. That's right here. That's my new avatar. Bill Buford. The guy on King of the Hill, I guess. That's how he sees me. That's how Tommy sees me. So, all right, whatever. So if Tommy sees me that way, I guess everybody else sees me that way, right? Well, then I'm confused. I have to read up on the article. AD Never Calling. I wouldn't get any bifocals either. You don't have to do anything. No thought or effort. It just works. I'm going to discuss it with the doctor, the surgeon. Anyway, I went to get the LASIKs, and I sit down just before surgery, and he says, and they also give you a Valium to relax, but I'm surprised I did it, but I was at a point where the contact lenses my new ones, I'd have to wear reading glasses, and I like to fish. And then in Las Vegas, it's very dry, so I kind of get tired. I love the disposable lenses, but it's just if you walk into Home Depot and you get that fan in your face, it dries out your lenses. It's just it was terrible. So anyway, I go into the surgeon of the appointment, and he goes, "Oh, we sit down and before the surgery, and I just want 20/20. Give me 20/20 in the left eye, 20/20 in the right eye." He goes, "Well, I don't know about that. We should back off on the right eye so you can look at your watch or look. You'd have near vision." Okay, I mean he's the doctor, so I went with it, and it was great because my left eye is dominant. So when I was driving, like going up to northern Nevada, and I had the vista looking out, all those mountains. It was perfect. It was crystal clear, acuity perfect. And if I look at my watch, my right eye takes over, and I don't even sense it. But we'll get into it. But I don't want. My initial impression is, like it with bifocal glasses. Oh, you'll look down, and your brain will take. I don't want to be looking down. I don't want to move my eyeballs. I move my head. And again, I'm not as quick as you two. I have no idea who that is, Tommy. I'm not in this world. I'm in this world, but not of it. Aaron Bespoke. Why would I care about this guy? You talking about the guy who leather stuff, or who are you talking about? Is he in the news? Were you trying to drag me into baseball? Now you're trying to drag me into leather goods? Oh, these are watch cases. I see. I already have a watch case. I have a great Italian case, glass top, but I'm not. Any thoughts on it? Oh, great. If you want one, get one. It's not my thing. I don't travel, so why do I need a watch case? I have a display cases. I'm more into display cases. Anyway, since we got AD never calling here, let's do the cataracts right now. All right. Understanding trifocal lenses in cataract surgery. Cataract surgery is a common outpatient procedure that removes the eye's clouded natural lens and replaces it with an artificial intraocular lens to restore clear vision. While trivalent lenses isn't a standard medical term, it appears to be a reference to trifocal lenses, also called trifocals intraocular lenses, okay, which address vision at 3 focal points. I don't want 3 focal points. Driving, intermediate, and near vision. I'll discuss it with him, okay? These lenses are designed to reduce or eliminate the need for glasses. I don't mind reading glasses, and I don't mind putting on glasses driving at night, But again, I have a dominant eye, so all I know is when I finally cleared up from the surgery, from the LASIK, it was perfect. My left eye was dominant. I had 20/20, and then when I looked at my watch, I used my right eye. It was just automatic. Trifocal use advanced optics with 3 distinct focal zones built into a single lens. This mimics the eye's natural focusing ability more closely than multifocal lenses. Okay, I'll discuss it with him. Because you won't, since your natural lens is gone, you won't be able to focus, go back and forth, I guess. The lens is implanted during cataract surgery via small incision, and the procedure takes about 15 to 30 minutes per eye under local anesthetic. Recovery is quick, with most patients noticing improved vision within days. Key benefits: you get spectacle independence. Over 99% of patients report high satisfaction and would choose it again, with many ditching glasses for I don't mind some glassware. Sharp vision across ranges provides high definition clarity, vivid colors, and minimum blur between distances. Astigmatism correction. I think I'm pretty good on astigmatism. So anyway, interesting. I'm glad you brought it up. You and Morty, you both have it done. Let's see, visual side effects. Some patients, 7 to 10% experience halos, glare, or starbursts around lights at night. Though newer models like the Panoptix Pro. Now, what did you say you were using? Go to the comments. Palm. Let's see, let's go back up to 80 Never Calling. Oh, that's the one he's got. The Panoptic lens. Newer models like the Panoptix Optics Pro minimize this. Ideal candidates have healthy eyes without severe dry eye, glaucoma, or macular issues. A pre-surgery exam, which I'm going to, I've got it scheduled, is essential to confirm stability. What are popular trifocal lens options in 2025? As of 2025, trifocal IOLs, interocular lenses continue to evolve. I just hate that word. It has nothing to do with evolution. These are design. Continue to have enhanced design with FDA-approved advancements focusing on reduced glare and enhanced contrast. Here's a comparison of leading options. Okay, the Panoptix Pro. This is the second one down. Updated version with better light management. Reduces halos by 20 to 30%. Now, I had a halo from the surgery on the LASIK surgery, and then when for about a month, and then I go into a casino and I go, wow, what's different? Because if you see any kind of light, you have this like you got chlorine in your eyes, and you get the halo, and there was nothing, no halo. And I went out and looked at street lights, nothing. So it really healed up. Now these cost $2,200 to $2,800. I don't know. Well, I know I got a surgical copay. He's in network, but I guess I got to buy the lens. AccuSoft, I'll go over it with him, But whatever I hear on YouTube and whatever I research, I'm going to go what the doctor says, the surgeon. Choosing the right lens for you, your lifestyle. I'm a recluse. Eye health and budget. Well, the budget, I can afford any lens he wants to. If you prioritize reading and screens, well, okay, opt for the lens like Panoptix. For minimal night vision issues, consider whatever. I'll go through with him. Cataract surgery with trifocal lens is highly effective. Over 3 million procedures annually in the U.S. alone, and outcomes are permanent. Isn't that amazing that I can go to 20/20 vision? Now, he may tell me, sir, cataract's not your problem. I don't know why you got blurry vision in your who knows? The optician told me, I knew I had a cataract because the first day I went in there to the eye doctor or the optometrist, he says, well, it's 20%, we'll watch it. And then just over time, it gradually got worse. All right, where's the money shot? Let's go to the money shot. There it is. I love when it clouds up. Isn't that beautiful? Look at that hedge, man. Oh, it's great. Now, I see the bottom all the way to the left. See the bottom there? I had to lop off. There was a vine coming up through it. It could have been, I don't know if it was Chinese sumac, but it's something you don't want. And I tried to pull it out, and it broke off underground. So when it first comes out, I got to keep my eye on that left bottom corner because I'm going to round up. Got to kill the root because, again, they put out rhizomes. And the only way to kill all of it underground is you got to use the, and it's, the hollyoak is just a trunk there. So as long as I don't get any of the greenage of the hollyoak, I should be okay. All right, back to the comments. Why don't you just say, Doc's thoughts on watch cases? I don't have any thoughts about it. I don't think about them. I guess I would probably get an individual one. If I were to travel, I'd always have one on my wrist, but maybe, a backup one or for a different kind of dress. No, I stand behind that story. But see, that's the, you got to read between the lines. This is the party elders. They got to get him. He's either going to resign or he's going to be pushed out. And they've got to do it he's gone. It's a power struggle, you know. Did you issue a retraction on that false President Xi having a stroke story? No, but see that you look behind it, and I don't get that off of CNN or Fox or MSNBC, but there's that woman. I put a link in it. Now there's a large Chinese community outside of mainland China, right? And they're watching it very close, and it's so subtle. Their politics are, because the state has complete control of media and press releases, and it's all very subtle. Well, they didn't mention this, or this guy put his hands in front of him and he instead of behind him, and you're not supposed to do that. So there's a whole intrigue about this, but he's not going to make it. Now, if he decides to fight it, he died in the hospital. Yeah, but you think of natural causes. See, they realize they have to get, now according to this woman, I take her, she's my source of it. And I put a link in last night's show over to that particular episode. But if she says, that I trust what she's saying on this, and so they want to become more advanced, their economy and everything else. North Korea is down the toilet, okay, total control, and that's not what they want. They don't want one leader to soak up everything, and it doesn't work. So they want to have a better economy, but then you're creeping down, you got to be careful with those political freedoms, and then because you'll crumble like Russia, and then somebody steps in, and you're back to the dictator thing. Boxes or straps, I have no idea. I'm a homebody. Straps. Oh, they make straps too? Oh, let's go look. Montreal. Is that the one Marco Ferrante shouted out? Buckles and stitching. Oh, yeah, beautiful. Okay. But I'm not going to spend more on a strap than I do I'm not into mechanical watches whatsoever. Tommy says, alligator, handmade in Montreal. Are you going to tell docs? Are you going to tell docs? Are you, Jay Grace, or handmade in Montreal? Are you going to tell docs? Question mark. Left eye domination. No, you you do have a dominant eye. This is what and I've kind of got a lazy brain because I went to Harvard. I was seeing some, I think I went in there for migraines or something. And he was up at the eye chart, and he said, and I couldn't really see what it was. And he put his finger up by the letter, and I instantly saw it. So, sight is a brain function. You could have the best lenses in the world, best in your eye, but it depends on how your mind is working, how your brain is working. Just got to find a great doctor. Well, I picked him out, and he's got all these good reviews, and I'll have a good talk with him. I don't feel comfortable with him, I'll find somebody else. But I'm going to go with what he says. I'll ask him, if he confirms that I have a cataract, he confirms that's a problem with my vision, and then I'll mention the trifocal stuff, and he goes, oh yeah, that's the only way to go, or whatever. Then I'll go with it. I'll have to. Well, that's another thing. You got to be careful. I don't know more than the doctor. When I went to the surgeon for the hernia, left inguinal hernia repair and mesh, I wanted it done with the robotics. And he goes, well, you can do that. There's more risk in that way. And I go, well, I don't want risk. So I went with the old-fashioned way. And it worked out great, actually. The scar, the gristle or whatever, it's disappeared. There it is, Morty Diner going, ah. So, I do appreciate it. Patrick and Mortimer telling about the trifocal lens. Okay, watch talk going on in the comments. Are you just joining me, Mortimer? I got a new avatar for today. Where is it? Here it is. Hang on. There it is. I'm Bill. My name is Bill Buford, King of the Hill. What else have we got today? I'm just letting things dry out. I got to do one more round around the house just to do a couple of finishes. Oh, you know what the overnight low temperature is going to be? Oh, this is great. Saturday night, it's going to go down to, 64? Couldn't believe it. We're going right into winter. 63. Sunday morning, 63. The high will be 78. There's still a chance of rain on the weekend, but we'll see. I texted my neighbor and I said, I looked at their rain gauge. They had 2.5 inches. They haven't been gone that long. Well, I got to stretch this out. If I'm going to do an hour and a half, I can't go right into the UAP stuff. If I go into the UAP, then I got nothing. Hey, JB. Hello, Docs. Hello, JB. 1911. It's 20 degrees Celsius in, let's see, you're in Spain, right? The Basque region, if I remember correctly. There's Morty. Oh, giving us some scripture sacrilege. I'm in this diner, but not of it. Portugal. Oh, I screwed up. What did I say? Spain. No, that's wrong. Okay, Portugal. I stand corrected. So I cover this UAP stuff because I'm just preparing you for what is going to, if it comes in your lifetime, the announcement, not so it won't catch you off guard. And I wonder if NASA has released the photos yet. Let's go look. Grok. 3I Atlas October photos NASA. Okay, in October, NASA and partner agencies like, I guess, ESAs, the Europeans, have captured images, right? All right, here we go. Now, NASA, the Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter, that's the high resolution, the best. High resolution color images of comet against Martian horizon. Well, it's an object. Faint green glow from CO2 ice gassing resolution 30 kilometers per pixel at nucleus. NASA confirmed data received October 2nd. They have the data. Why haven't they released it? Why haven't they released it? Track updates via NASA Comet page. All right, well, let's go to that. Let's get rid of these watch cases and leather straps. Does not interest me. Okay, I'm at the website. Okay. They don't show anything. They haven't released it yet. They're holding out. Now they have some animation, and they show this kind of blob rock thing. And they keep calling it a comet. All right, we're going to have to wait on that. Wait and see. Frank B. on this Columbus. Hey, it doesn't matter what day it is. I never forget to push the water. And I'm regular. Morty's Diner. Can anyone here simultaneously push their water and defecate? I get great results. I don't drink while I'm on the can, but 20 ounces and I don't leave the house, and all of a sudden, gotta go, and then I leave the house. Oh, I thought you said it. Didn't you recommend trivalent? You had the surgery? Or you're pulling my leg. Morty's Diner, Doctor Report. I have never had cataract surgery. Oh, excuse me. See what that brandy will do to you? I thought you said that. Frank B., drink 2 gallons a day. Well, Frank, take your own advice. I don't need your advice. If you don't like it, don't do it. If you want kidney stones, and I wouldn't wish that on anyone, go for it. All I know is the surgeon, to remove the stones, he says you have to generate 1.5 liters of urine a day. That's quite a bit. This channel is so much more than the occasional flashlight or knife or watch, or this is men's health. Very important. Let's see, what else was I going to? Hang on. I recommend, if you really, if you get interested in UFOs or UAPs, go to the James Fox and just go through some of his movies. And they're all they're documentaries, and they're all free on YouTube if you want to get up to speed to it. Hey, lesson well learned. That's correct, Pavel. Push the water. It's not how much you drink, it's how much you urinate. 1.5 liters a day. That's quite a bit. Frank's got plenty of advice here. A bad doctor will suggest unneeded procedures. Well, the cataract's pretty straightforward. Oh, and I needed prior authorization also. Network, I recommend rampamycin. Rampamycin, well, what is that? That's an immunosuppressant. For what? For cataract surgery? I don't think so. I don't give medical advice. Pushing, just make sure you're well hydrated. It's great advice. Can you, I have never done that study, Morty. Can you urinate more than the water they push? Can one urinate more than what you took in? No idea. All I care about is I had a stone in 90, when was that? 92? And as soon as I get back to work, you know, your coworkers, they really, oh, you'll get them. Once you get them, you'll get them again. I had mine, you know, haven't had a repeat yet. That's what counts. I just have to ignore you, Frank. Maybe somebody else watching you, I don't know. People can read what you say. I'm just going to ignore you. Morty suggested that I travel up to Boston. Since I'm in a very good financial position, I can just go up there and hang out and have a lobster roll or have lobster dinner, and it's but it doesn't appeal to me. I'd rather be here with this view. Nice, beautiful. I find beauty at my back. I find beauty at Wawa. I find beauty at the fitness center. I don't have to go anywhere. And I think those people that really do, those people that do a lot of travel, it's just a distraction. And it's just constant travel. It's just like people who buy watches. You just keep buying watches over and over again. It's just a distraction. And if you extend that to there's some people that are really into the UFOs because it's just another distraction. They're bored with this planet, this beautiful planet we're on, and they're all we got to leave the planet, we got to travel. I listened to the YouTube channel Angry Astronaut, and they're going to be rides into space, and they want to colonize the moon or colonize Mars. Really? You're going to find answers out there somewhere. You're not. You have to go within. And that's my message from the rabbi of the New Testament. Well, I agree with you on the color. The more clear it is, the better off you are. I mean, you can have yellow if it's concentrated, but it should be light in color. And you will. Once in a while I get like a positive for blood in the urine, but he goes, "That's a trace. That's nothing." He says, "Just ignore it." A doctor wanted to remove my gallbladder. I still have it 20 years later. Really? Wow. But I tried to go I kept thinking my eye would clear up or I could live with it, and then it got to a point where I just have to have it done. Thank you, network. Nice view. It is. Beautiful. Central Florida. Frank, what's the name of our community? One more time.
Del Boca Vista?
Yes. It's the place to be. It's hard. Do you find beauty in the Archieverse? What you're watching on the Archieverse is on his channel, an undiagnosed personality disorder who puts out a spider web, and the young guys drop in on it, or the old guys, or the ones that can't find jobs, and you're prey. You're prey on his web. Narcissistic supply. He'll suck the energy, he'll suck the life right out of you. And then on Watch Nicholas, he's doing the Howard Stern thing, the whack pack. Well, at least Howard Stern was in the audience. He would kind of control it, but Watch Nicholas just gets the stream going and walks away. Now, I believe Howard Stern and Watch Nicholas do it for two reasons. One, it's the money. Two, it takes the focus off of themselves from the audience. Because if the audience doesn't have the whack pack, who are they going to go after? Watch Nicholas, right? It's a way of hiding. Oh my God, UFO. They're among us. Network says they want real estate in the moon, plain and simple. Another, I'm not leaving this planet, no matter what. Even if they perfected it. Come to Mars for, it just doesn't, does it interest you? You really want to do, it's a hostile, very hostile environment out there. Space. The Wawa X. All we did was a meetup. Gildan, the Wawa X AD Never Calling collaboration was epic. Really. Floodland, watch Nicholas. Oh, there's some really sad cases over there too. I forgot the guy's name. The new guy has his shirt off. It's like, I don't even want to know. It's like, it's very, whatever his disability, or he can't work, or it's sad, Watch Nicholas no longer appears on his channel, it seems. Just a bunch of jabronis and randoms on the panel. Wannabes. And then I guess you got Mike the Snake hopping around. Really? Watch Nicholas is busy moonlighting on Watch Reporter's satellite channel, The Wall Street Reporter. I can't watch it. I can't watch Tanzil either. And then Marcelo hops on. They're like, no. They can have it. Moon will be the new penthouse, says Network. "42 minutes in. Let's see. Well, we could do some UAP stuff. Oh, you want the collab? Here's the docs report and AD Never Calling.
What does that say there?
I don't read Doc's report.
Doc's report. That's Patrick and Doc's.
Okay.
They actually had lunch together, and Doc's paid.
You don't read Doc's report? Well, you've certainly heard of me.
Doc's report: leadership, discipline, diligence, integrity, civility.
Thank you. Okay, let's start with James Fox.
But this is about incursions over. Listen to this. I promised this individual that I met at Seoul conference. He's a witness. He's a military guy. My name is Jeffrey Nusatelli. I served 16 years in the United States Air Force as a technical sergeant and a military police officer. In October 2003, my coworkers and I witnessed a series of extraordinary UAP incursions at Vandenberg Air Force Base in California. The initial event is known as the Vandenberg Red Square, and it was first mentioned during the historic UAP hearing held in 2023. The case involved Boeing contractors who witnessed a huge red square-shaped object, roughly the size of a football field, hovering over a missile defense system. The object was silent and had no visible means of propulsion. The contractors watched in amazement as the massive object slowly drifted east and vanished over the hills. I retained official Air Force records of the event, including the blotter form entry, which includes the names and contact information of all the witnesses, and provided it to select members of Congress, AARO, and the FBI. AARO is a new UAP task force, all-domain anomalous resolution office. After the initial event, several other UAP incursions took place at Vandenberg. I was on duty during many of the encounters, and I investigated the incidents as they unfolded. Now remember, this is not anonymous reporting here. They include a football field-sized craft that terrified security guards as it silently hovered over a bunch a launch facility before flying off at an unbelievable rate of speed. A brightly illuminated silent object that landed on the base flight line before accelerating instantaneously and disappearing into space. A huge triangle-shaped craft larger than a C-130 that hovered 50 feet over a police officer before it drifted slowly over the base. A blue-white liquid orb, roughly the size of his house, that hovered over his house on the base. The objects made no sound and had zero obvious means of propulsion. And he says, my experiences with UAP were awe-inspiring, exciting, and terrifying. I don't know why UAP are flying over our bases and our neighborhoods, but I do know the UAP phenomenon is of the utmost importance to all of humanity. I currently have 5 other military witnesses to the Vandenberg incursions that are all willing to testify tomorrow under oath that these statements are true. We need answers to this mystery and better government transparency. Thank you for the opportunity to share my story. Former United States Air Force Technical Sergeant and witness, Jeff Nusatelli.
Nusatelli. See if that's how you pronounce it, Jeffrey Nusatelli. That incident is known as the Red Square or the Red Cube UAP incident at Vandenberg Air Force Base. The query appears to reference the well-documented Red Square UAP sighting at what was the Vandenberg Air Force Base. Now it's called the Vandenberg Space Force Base. Interesting, Space Force Base in Santa Barbara, California. Santa Barbara County, California. This event, which occurred in October 2023, has been the focal point in a U.S. congressional hearing on UAPs involving multiple witnesses, official investigations, and recent disclosures. Okay, here's some key details. October 14, 2023, around 8:45 a.m., over the Launch Facility 21 at Vandenberg, a secured site for missile testing and launches. The base is a restricted military installation used for space and missile operations. A massive, glowing, red squared-shaped object, approximately 100 yards, football field size on each side, approached the base from the Pacific Ocean. Now, when I first heard that, I said, when it says from the ocean, it didn't come up out of the water. It appeared, it came in from or off the ocean. See, it floated in, but it didn't just rise up out of the ocean. It's different. From the ocean or off the ocean. It just came off the ocean, then from that direction, the way I take it. It hovered silently at low altitude over the launch facility for about 45 to 60 seconds before accelerating away at high speed without visible propulsion. No exhaust noise, no heat signatures. Witnesses describe it as a flattened square or rhomboid emitting a uniform red glow, defying conventional aerodynamics. Now, this was the first in a series of similar incursions at the base between 2003 and 2005, including a second red square sighting 24 hours later over Space Launch Complex 4, now leased by SpaceX, as well as reports of triangular and spherical UAPs. No radar or flight logs explain the object, and it breached restricted airspace without detection until visually spotted. Key witnesses, you have multiple military and contractor personnel reported the event, with sworn statements collected. Stigma and classification delayed public disclosures for 2 decades. Ryan Graves, he's a pilot, Graves, remember that name. Former U.S. Navy pilot, founder Americans for Safe Aerospace, testified in 2023 before the House Oversight Subcommittee, and I got that clip, described the event based on a Boeing contractor's report. A very large 100-yard, now these are Boeing, these are workers out there. They expect the Air Force to know what it is. Appeared from the base, from the ocean, off the ocean is what it should say, and hovered at low altitude over one of the launch facilities. Emphasized underreporting, stigma, and national security risk. Yeah, they didn't want to give their names, of course. And Jeff Nusatelli, he's the first-hand investigator. Now, the first one he didn't see, but he had to investigate it. Now, he was on if you want to know more about this, and I have links in the description, the Weaponized podcast, confirming base alerts and interviews. Nucatelli noted reoccurring patterns, including a dark square and possible UAP landing. The Boeing contractors, on-site workers near Launch Facility 21, initial spotters. They reported the object as the size of a football field, silently floating, red in color, glowing. Their accounts prompted immediate base notifications. And then they get into theories and that. I don't want to give you the theories. All right, let's see. Mr. Graves, you're up.
My next question would actually be for Mr. Graves. Can you please explain to me in detail the event that occurred at Vandenberg Air Force Base?
Certainly. In the 2003 timeframe, a large group of Boeing contractors were operating near one of the launch facilities at Vandenberg Air Force Base when they observed a very large 100-yard sided red square approach the base from the ocean and hover at low altitude over one of the launch facilities. This object remained for about 45 seconds or so before darting off over the mountains. There was a similar event within 24 hours later in the evening. This was a morning event, I believe 8:45 in the morning. Later in the evening, post-sunset, there were reports of other sightings on base, including some aggressive behaviors. These objects were approaching some of the security guards at rapid speeds before darting off. And this is information that was received through one of the witnesses that have approached me at Americans for Safe Aerospace.
Was this documented in any official form, whether it was a police blotter?
Yes, they had official documentation and records from the event that the witness held over the years.
And I'm not going to ask you to do it right now for time reasons, but you'd be able to sketch what was witnessed, correct? And have you seen that before on any other equipment and or during your flight time?
I have not seen what they've described. This object was estimated to be almost the size of a football field, and I have not seen anything personally that large.
No. What's the bio on Mr. Graves? Tell us about yourself, Mr. Graves.
Please try to limit your oral statements to 5 minutes. As a reminder, please press the button on the microphone in front of you so that it's on and the members can hear you. When you begin to speak, the light in front of you will turn green. After 4 minutes, it'll turn yellow, and the red light, when that comes on, it tells you your 5 minutes have expired. I'll now recognize Mr. Graves for 5 minutes for your opening statement.
Thank you. Chairman Grothman, Ranking Member Garcia, distinguished members of the House Oversight Subcommittee on National Security, Representatives Burchett and Luna. My name is Ryan Fobbs Graves, and I am a former F-18 pilot with a decade of service in the U.S. Navy, including 2 deployments in Operation Enduring Freedom and Operation Inherent Resolve. I have experienced advanced UAP firsthand, and I'm here to voice the concerns of more than 30 commercial aircrew and military veterans who have confided their similar encounters with me. Today, I would like to highlight 3 critical issues that demand our action. As we convene here, UAP are in our airspace, but they are grossly underreported. These sightings are not rare or isolated, they are routine. Military aircrew and commercial pilots, trained observers whose lives depend on accurate identification, are frequently witnessing these phenomena. The stigma attached to UAP is real and powerful and challenges national security. It silences commercial pilots who fear professional repercussions, discourages witnesses, and is only compounded by recent government claims questioning the credibility of eyewitness testimony. Parts of our government are aware of more about UAP than they let on, but excessive classification practices keep crucial information hidden. Since 2021, all UAP videos are classified as secret or above. This level of secrecy not only impedes our understanding, but fuels speculation and mistrust. In 2014, I was an F-18 Foxtrot pilot in the Navy Fighter Attack Squadron 11, the Red Rippers, and I was stationed at NAS Oceana in Virginia Beach. After upgrades were made to our jet's radar systems, we began detecting unknown objects operating in our airspace. At first, we assumed they were radar errors, but soon we began to correlate the radar tracks with multiple onboard sensors, including infrared systems, eventually through visual ID. During a training mission in Warning Area Whiskey 72, 10 miles off the coast of Virginia Beach, 2 F-18 Super Hornets were split by a UAP. The object, described as a dark gray or a black cube inside of a clear sphere, came within 50 feet of the lead aircraft and was estimated to be 5 to 15 feet in diameter. The mission commander terminated the flight immediately and returned to base. Our squadron submitted a safety report, but there was no official acknowledgement of the incident and no further mechanism to report the sightings. Soon, these encounters became so frequent that aircrew would discuss the risk of UAP as part of their regular pre-flight briefs. Recognizing the need for action and answers, I founded Americans for Safe Aerospace. The organization has since become a haven for UAP witnesses who were previously unspoken due to the absence of a safe intake process. More than 30 witnesses have come forward, and almost 5,000 Americans have joined us in the fight for transparency at safeaerospace.org. The majority of witnesses are commercial pilots at major airlines. Often, they are veterans with decades of flying experience. Pilots are reporting UAP at altitudes that appear above them at 40,000 feet, potentially in low Earth orbit or in the gray zone below the Kármán line, making inexplainable maneuvers like right-hand turns and retrograde orbits or J-hooks. Sometimes these reports are reoccurring, with numerous recent sightings north of Hawaii and in the North Atlantic. Other veterans are also coming forward to us regarding UAP encounters in our airspace and oceans. The most compelling involve observations of UAP by multiple witnesses and sensor systems. I believe these accounts are only scratching the surface, and more will share their experiences once it is safe to do so. In closing, I recognize the skepticism surrounding this topic. If everyone could see the sensor and video data I witnessed, our national conversation would change. I urge us to put aside stigma and address the security and safety issue this topic represents. If UAP are foreign drones, it is an urgent national security problem. If it is something else, it is an issue for science. In either case, unidentified objects are concerned for flight safety. The American people deserve to know what is happening in our skies. It is long overdue. Thank you.
Prepare yourself. They're here. Whatever it is, they've been here. Finally, let's hear from the sergeant at Vandenberg who investigated the first case. Here he is.
My name is Jeffrey Nusatelli. I'm a former military police officer with 16 years of active duty service in the U.S. Air Force. I'm here today because the American people have both the right and the responsibility to know the truth about unidentified aerial phenomenon. That truth remains hidden, classified and silenced by fear, retaliation, stigma, and confusion. Today, we are here to help break that silence. Between 2003 and 2005, 5 UAP incidents occurred at Vandenberg Air Force Base, home to the National Missile Defense Project, a top national security priority. At the time, we were conducting launches deemed by the National Reconnaissance Office as the most important in 25 years. These were historic launches. These facilities were vital, and they were repeatedly visited by UAP. Each incident was witnessed by multiple personnel, documented, investigated, and reported up the chain of command. We sent information up, but we got no guidance down on how to handle these events. I personally witnessed one of these events and investigated others as they occurred. 6 other service members have provided me with the information that I will share with you today. The incursions began on October 14, 2003, when Boeing contractors reported a massive glowing red square silently hovering over 2 missile defense sites. After several minutes, it drifted further east onto the base and vanished over the hills. This event, now known as the Vandenberg Red Square, was referenced by Representative Luna at the first hearing on this topic. Official Air Force records of this event are in possession by Aero and the FBI. Later that night, while I was on duty, security guards at a critical launch site reported a bright, fast-moving object over the ocean. I responded to the incident. Chaos ensued over the radio as the object approached rapidly. I heard my friends screaming, "It's coming right at us, it's coming right for us, and now it's right here." Moments later, I heard them say that it had shot off and was gone. When I arrived on scene, I talked to 5 shaken witnesses who described a massive triangular craft larger than a football field that hovered silently for about 45 seconds over their entry control point before shooting away at impossible speed. About a week later, another patrol reported a light over the ocean, behaving erratically. Believing it might be an unannounced aircraft, they declared an emergency. and an armed response force responded. Before the forces could arrive, the object descended and either landed or hovered on our flight line and then took off again at impossible speed. The witnesses to this event were threatened and intimidated afterward. They were told to keep quiet and think about what they were reporting. After that, things did get quiet until about 2005, when another patrol reported a massive triangular craft larger than a C-130 silently floating over the installation. He watched it for a few minutes. It traveled west and disappeared into the night. And then I had my own encounter, again in 2005. I was off duty, sitting in my backyard with 2 other police officers when we noticed what first appeared to be a satellite in orbit, but it wasn't acting like a satellite. The light was strange, it was pulsing, and then it started to maneuver. It dropped in elevation. At times it would vanish from view and reappear in a different location in the sky, and eventually it reappeared 200 feet over my house. It was a 30-foot diameter sphere of light. My friends and I watched it for a moment, and then it gently accelerated and traveled up and disappeared into the stars. These events profoundly changed my life and the lives of my friends. We stand at a pivotal moment in history. The question is no longer whether these events are real, but whether we have the courage to face them. True leadership requires vision, a willingness to confront the unknown with transparency and resolve. So I ask the Congress to help we, the people, enact this vision. There are 3 goals. Fund independent research and treat UAP study with the same seriousness as we would any other scientific field. 2, end secrecy and overclassification. Transparency is the foundation of truth. Without it, witnesses like us are dismissed. 3, protect the witnesses. Many stay silent out of fear for their careers, reputations, and the safety of their families. Protect them, and you will embolden others to join this cause. These phenomena challenge our deepest assumptions about reality, consciousness, and our place in the universe. Exploring them can unlock transformative breakthroughs in technology, biology, and human understanding. Let this be the moment when America chooses courage over fear, transparency over secrecy, and progress over stagnation. Let's show the world that our nation leads not only through strength, but through fearless pursuit of the truth. Thank you.
Now, it hovered over his home, and he gets a little pissed off because he thought his wife and his kids were threatened by it. Well, it appeared, and it silently, but it didn't, you know, if it wanted to do harm, you wouldn't be here. It's a phenomenon, and I don't see any president sharing that information at this point. It's just going to do a lot of disruption, and it's not, it doesn't shake, I've already accepted it, so it doesn't shake my belief in anything, except you think your government can protect you, it can't. Not from these things. So, but they've been here a while. What they really want is confirmation and open study. With that kind of technology in the wrong hands, you know, I don't think they're ever going to come out with that. We may have some of them. According to Gildan, Paul always speaks with them nightly. Jay Gray sweater, it sounds like a hologram. Wawa in Ontario. No, I didn't know that. All right, that's the clips. Oh, we got one more, which you're probably more interested in the UAPs. And that would be Playboard. So we're in 104. I only did the last 7 days. Okay. So who are our players in this? Well, we know that one is Watch Nicholas. He's here.
It's like, I'm not like, if you really think that this is like about money, it's like, yeah, I'm trying to get money out of it, but like this most certainly is not paying my bills. So like at the end of the day, as long as I'm getting my entertainment, that's really it. It's my entertainment, and anything else on top of it is just icing on the cake. You know what I mean?
And of course, we have the 9-year-old, the Beast of Brisbane.
It doesn't matter.
It's money, Archie.
I don't care. Don't care. I care about me. That's it. 3 people I care about in this world. Me, myself, and I. That's it.
Beautiful.
Oh, Mike thinks it's beautiful.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Okay, and who's number 3? Now, people are asking me to find the franchise club. I can't find it. I mean, I can only search so many times. If I find it, I'll give the numbers, but I don't think Playboard's tracking it. And, of course, the other person would be who? Who comes in usually third? That'd be this guy. And
help fuel the grift jar. We like to call it here, keeping the grift alive.
Okay. So let's go to Playboard. Last 7 days, here we go. Last 7 days up to today, October 10th, Friday, October 10th, last 7 days, YouTuber, the Watch Nicholas YouTube empire of misfits, unemployable, disabilities, whatever. There's your gross now he's come down from the 2,000, or one time he got like over 2,500 a week. Pretty light week. Net $798 for the Watch Nicholas YouTube empire. The Beast of Brisbane, the 9-year-old, last 7 days, $821 gross. That's $574. I don't know if you can employ people making that. Pretty tough. And Timmy Tin Cup, panhandling, trust-funded Marxist Airport Lounge scrounger. He must get direct PayPals because he only brought in $122, 7 days. And there's his net $85.40. And that is your Playboard. And I should put a timestamp in because people like to see that. So what is it? 107. I wonder if Mookie's still here. Amuamua.
Almuamua.
Amuamua.
Almuamua.
Amuamua.
Almuamua.
Amuamua. All right, that's the show. So enjoy the view, and I'll be here for another, 22 minutes. Oh, I did hear Mortimer. He was reading the comments about the cataract surgery. I didn't know he was reading the comments. I thought he was having a conversation with me. So when he said I had cataract surgery, he was reading Patrick's comment. So that explains it.
No prisoners! No prisoners!